The headlights along the winding road to the Marquette estate stretched like a river of glass under the moonlight. Helena Marquette had insisted on hosting the annual Crescent City philanthropy dinner on her property, an unspoken tradition among the elite families of Bellemere. Every guest list was scrutinized. Every detail had to shimmer, and every mistake was simply unacceptable. Nayla Serrano had never cared for the shimmer. Her car, a sleek, silver electric hybrid she designed herself, slowed at the estate gates. The guard scanned her invitation, nodded politely, and waved her through. She exhaled softly, a habit she carried from her childhood. Days in the crowded apartment blocks of East Bellemere. It wasn't nerves exactly. It was more the memory of walking into rooms where people assumed she didn't belong. Tonight, she belonged more than anyone. Not that the Marquettes knew that. Not yet. The mansion loomed before her. White stone, golden windows, and an attitude. Ivy crawled up the pillars like it had rights. The driveway was lined with luxury cars, vintage sedans, glossy convertibles, armored town cars. Her hybrid looked like it was here to deliver groceries. She stepped out, smoothing the dark blue satin of her dress. It was elegant without being loud, modest but tailored in a way that captured her silhouette. She'd designed it herself. She designed many things herself. Nayla. Quinn Marquette's voice came from behind her, warm and confident. He was striking in a charcoal suit, hair swept back in an effortless style that took 20 minutes and 3 products. He leaned in to kiss her cheek, though the valet watched with visible curiosity. "You made it," he murmured. "I was getting worried." "You know I don't like these events," she replied, looping her arm through his. He smiled, reassuring. "You won't have to handle them alone." "Not tonight." She didn't say what she was thinking. She could handle anything alone. She always had. The grand doors opened, and they walked into an avalanche of chandeliers, classical music, and murmuring conversations. The room was a ballroom disguised as a social battlefield. Women in jeweled gowns scanned each other from head to toe. Men clustered into groups, bragging subtly about irrelevant things. Quinn guided her deeper inside, toward the receiving line where his parents stood. Helena Marquette wore a sapphire dress and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Beside her was the man Nayla had come prepared for, Donovan Marquette, CEO of Marquette Dynamics, billionaire heir, self-proclaimed visionary, and one of the loudest voices in the Bellemere elite. "Nayla," Helena greeted her, tone deceptively warm. "What a lovely dress, very practical-looking fabric." "It's satin," Nayla replied over her shoulder, voice calm. "Ah," Helena said, brows rising like she'd just learned what oxygen was. Quinn shot Nayla an apologetic look. Donovan's gaze dragged over her. Not lascivious, judging, measuring, calculating. "So you're the young woman Quinn's been spending so much time with," he said. "Serrano, was it?" "Yes," she replied. "Pleasure to meet you. I hear you work in the tech sector." He said tech like it was garbage disposal. "I do," she answered. "And what exactly do you do?" Quinn opened his mouth, but Nayla placed a subtle hand on his arm. She needed no defending. "I lead product innovation," she said. "Focus on clean energy integration, scalable systems, and independent infrastructure design." Helena blinked slowly. "That sounds cute." Quinn inhaled sharply, distressed, but Nayla simply smiled, unfazed. "It's fulfilling." They moved on. The dinner was starting soon. Quinn tried to keep the conversation light as they settled into seats near the front. He knew his parents. He knew this crowd. And he knew she didn't deserve any of the snide looks thrown her way. She leaned toward him. "I'm used to this," she whispered. He swallowed. "You shouldn't have to be." The dinner began with speeches, applause, the clinking of crystal. Nayla stayed composed, not even twitching when Helena introduced her as Quinn's friend who dabbles in engineering. When it came time for Donovan to give his annual address, the room hushed. Every year he used this moment to announce new deals, new partnerships, new milestones for Marquette Dynamics. And this year, there was something big on the horizon. Nayla already knew more about it than he did. "As many of you know," Donovan began, wearing his trademark smirk, "Marquette Dynamics is on the verge of securing a transformation for this city, for this country, and for our industry. Our upcoming alliance with Serrano Innovations." Nayla's heart didn't spike, but Quinn's head whipped toward her. Donovan continued, "is expected to usher in a new era of sustainable tech in Bellemere. We anticipate the official signing next week." Once this deal finalizes, we'll hold majority control. Nayla almost laughed. Majority control? Cute. Donovan raised his glass. To progress, and to working with talented young minds, regardless of where they come from. The room chuckled softly. Quinn froze. Nayla placed her glass down slowly. She met Donovan's stare. He held it smug. Interesting speech, Quinn whispered urgently. Under her breath. Nayla, I didn't know he'd mentioned the partnership. She replied. I assumed he would. Arrogance tends to speak loudly. The dinner continued, but Donovan wasn't done. Dessert arrived, a delicate lemon tart with gold, flakes floating like guilty secrets. When he finally struck, "So, Nayla," he said loudly enough for several tables to listen. "Quinn tells me you grew up in East Bellemere. Tough area." Nayla looked up, serene. "Yes, and?" "And," he chuckled, "it's admirable you climbed out of it." Quinn's jaw tightened. Donovan leaned forward slightly. People from neighborhoods like that rarely succeed, much less mix comfortably with us. Helena placed a delicate hand on his shoulder, whispering, "Donovan." He ignored her. "It must be overwhelming," he went on, "being surrounded by people of this caliber." Now Quinn stood abruptly, chair scraping behind him. "Dad, that's enough." Donovan waved him dismissively. "I'm trying to understand her background." "Nothing wrong with that." He turned back to Nayla. "What did your parents do?" "Mom was a laundromat attendant," she said calmly. "Dad wasn't around." Several guests exchanged looks. Donovan smiled. "So your success is unexpected." Quinn's hand curled into a fist. "But then again," Donovan continued, voice dripping poison, "some people are desperate to escape their roots. And sometimes," he added, tone sharpening, "they latch onto people who can give them a better life." Silence dropped like an anvil. Quinn's chair nearly toppled as he took a step toward his father. "You're being disgusting." But Nayla lifted a single hand. He stopped immediately. She turned to Donovan, eyes steady. "Are you implying I'm with your son for status?" Donovan shrugged, leaning back, arrogant. "Let's be honest, Miss Serrano. You're not exactly our kind of people." There it was, the ugliness said out loud. Helena flinched. Quinn looked like he was seconds away from punching his father. But Nayla simply dabbed her lips with her napkin, placed it on the table, and stood. "I see." She turned to Quinn. "I'll wait for you outside." He shook his head. "I'm coming with you now." "No," she said softly but firmly. "Finish your dinner." The room watched in silence as she walked out of the ballroom. Posture straight, chin high, grace unbroken. Donovan chuckled and raised his glass again. "Some people just can't handle being among the elite." Quinn spun toward him. "Do you have any idea?" His phone buzzed. A message from Nayla. "Check the news." He frowned and opened the notification. His breath left his body. Donovan was still smirking when Quinn shoved the phone in front of him. On the screen, breaking: SierraTech cancels. 5.6B merger with Marquette Dynamics. Insider sources. Site leadership concerns. Donovan's smile evaporated. What is this?" he stammered. Quinn's voice was cold. "Dad?" "SierraTech is her company." Donovan blinked, confused. "What?" "She owns it. She built it. And you just humiliated one of the most powerful innovators in the country." Color drained from Donovan's face. People around them began whispering. Helena's hands started trembling. Within minutes, phones buzzed at every table. Stock prices dropping. Board members panicking. Executives demanding explanations. Donovan staggered back into his chair. No, this can't be real." Quinn stepped away from him. "I'll go find her," he said. "If she still wants to see me." Helena cried out softly, but he ignored her and left the hall. Outside, Nayla stood by her car, arms folded gently, waiting. Quinn approached slowly. "I'm so sorry," he began. She shook her head. "You weren't the one who insulted me, but I brought you here, and I came willingly." He exhaled shakily. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she answered. "This is nothing new. Men like your father have underestimated people like me my entire life." "But they're wrong," he whispered. "Yes," she said firmly. "They are." He hesitated, then asked quietly, "Do you want to end things?" She looked at him, truly looked. "No," she said. "But everything changes now." He nodded. "I'm with you. Whatever happens, Inside the ballroom, chaos erupted as Donovan Marquette realized the scale of what he had just destroyed. Outside, under the soft glow of the driveway lights, Nayla Serrano unlocked her car. "Get in," she said softly. "We have a long night ahead." The time Nayla and Quinn reached her penthouse, overlooking the Bellemere coastline, the city lights had taken on a restless pulse. News helicopters buzzed near the Marquette Tower. 3 business channels were already broadcasting emergency panels. A ticker at the bottom of every screen shouted, "Massive merger collapse. Marquette Dynamics losing billions in market value." Nayla set her keys down and unfastened her earrings, dropping them gently into a small bowl on the marble counter. Quinn followed her in quietly, still reeling from the chaos they had left behind. He had seen his father angry before, furious, ruthless, but never terrified. Nayla didn't seem shaken at all. Her posture remained composed, her breaths even. There was a kind of clarity in her eyes, cold when it needed to be, warm only when she chose. Quinn watched her for a long moment. "You knew this would happen," he said softly. She didn't turn. "I didn't plan it, but I wasn't going to stop it either. You canceled the merger in seconds." "Yes, that was billions." 5.6, she corrected. "And only the surface layer, the secondary agreements, the licensing discounts. That was another $2 billion in projected value." She paused. "His company depended on it." Quinn ran a hand through his hair, "And he thought you needed him." Nayla finally looked at him. "He still does." They stood in silence for a few seconds before Quinn walked closer. "I want you to know something," he said quietly. "I'm not staying neutral. Not torn, not confused. I'm choosing you." She watched him carefully. "You might regret that." "I haven't yet." She didn't smile. She didn't soften. But her eyes held a flicker, not of surprise, but of something closer to acceptance. "Sit down," she said gently. "We'll talk strategy. There's more on the way." By morning, Bellemere was a war zone. Not physically, but financially. Marquette Dynamics stock had plummeted nearly 28% at market open. Analysts called it the most catastrophic, single-day drop in the company's history. Board members scrambled to reach Donovan. Investors demanded an emergency statement. Anonymous insiders leaked concerns about leadership. And one particular headline circulated everywhere. Sources claim CEO Donovan Marquette offended SierraTech founder at private event. Every news anchor said the same thing. Who is the mysterious founder behind SierraTech? It didn't take long for the answer to circulate. First through private channels, then publicly. SierraTech CEO revealed to be 30-year-old innovator Nayla Serrano. Donovan Marquette nearly threw his phone across his office when it appeared. "Nobody holds power we didn't know about," he roared, pacing. Helena sat on the couch, face pale beneath perfect foundation. "Calm down, darling." "Don't tell me to calm down," he shouted. That woman humiliated me." Helena closed her eyes. "You humiliated yourself." Donovan froze mid-step. "What did you just say?" She swallowed but didn't look away. "You shouldn't have spoken to her that way. She was Quinn's guest. You embarrassed him. And now look," Donovan scoffed, throwing his hands up. "She's from East Bellemere, Helena. A nobody. I thought she was some junior engineer hoping to marry up. That nobody has destroyed half our valuation overnight." He stared at her. He had no answer. A knock sounded at the office door. When Donovan didn't respond, the door opened anyway, and 3 board members walked in. "Donovan," said Marcus Hale, the board chair, "we need to talk." Helena rose quickly. "Now? Must it be this?" "Yes," Marcus said sharply. "Now." Donovan tried to smile, but the panic in his voice bled through. "Gentlemen, this is a misunderstanding. A personal conflict. I am fully capable of handling the fallout." Marcus's expression didn't change. "We're not so sure." Donovan stiffened. "I built this company, and you might be the one destroying it," Marcus replied coolly. The other board members, Leora and Danvers, exchanged a meaningful glance. "We've scheduled an emergency vote for Friday," Leora said, "on whether you will remain CEO." Donovan's nostrils flared. "You can't be serious." Danvers shrugged. "We're down nearly $8 billion in market cap in 24 hours. The partnership collapse is one thing, but the cause, your treatment of Ms. Serrano, that was reckless. Political correctness gone mad," Donovan growled. "No," Marcus said sharply. This isn't about politics. It's about competence. Helena's eyes widened, horror sinking in. Marcus continued, "We're sorry, Donovan, but the board has been questioning your leadership for a long time. Yesterday was simply the catalyst." Donovan swayed slightly as if dizzy. "This is mutiny," he whispered. "It's survival," Leora countered. They left without another word. Helena sank into a chair, trembling. Donovan stared at the closed door. Then for the first time in decades, he felt powerless. Meanwhile, across the city, Nayla stepped into the glass meeting chamber at SierraTech headquarters. "Good morning," she greeted her executive team. They all stood, even the ones older than her, especially those older than her. Her second-in-command, Emery Zhao, slid a tablet across the table. "You're trending #1 on 3 platforms. 24 interview requests. 5 universities called wanting to feature your rise from poverty story." Nayla lifted a brow. "Decline all of them. You don't want the PR spin?" "No. Should I prepare a formal statement for the press?" "Yes, clear and concise," she paused. "And I want it to say exactly this. We no longer pursue partnerships with organizations whose leadership demonstrates prejudice or bias." Emery nodded and typed rapidly. Another executive, Garen Locke, asked, "What's the next move?" "The market is expecting some follow-through." Nayla sat, crossed one leg over the other, and answered steadily. "We offer Marquette Dynamics a chance to restructure." The table erupted in whispers. "You're expanding Mercy?" Garen asked, stunned. "No," Nayla said. "I'm expanding strategy. We offer them the same partnership, but under new leadership." Emery's eyes widened. "Meaning, if their CEO steps down," Nayla said, "we proceed. If not, the company bleeds until it collapses." Silence fell, heavy, electric. Garen nodded slowly. "Brutal. Necessary," she replied. He hesitated. "You're doing this for revenge?" Nayla tapped the table once with her fingertip. "Just once, but it was enough. I'm doing this because men like Donovan Marquette have bullied, dismissed and sabotaged people like me. Talented people, brilliant people, hardworking people, for decades. I'm not destroying him. I'm removing him." A beat passed. "Then we move forward," Emery said. Nayla stood. "Draft everything. Prepare for heavy negotiation. And tell Quinn to meet me at the tower at 6. We'll be confronting his father together." Quinn arrived early. He stood in Donovan's outer office, hands in his pockets, shoulders tense. The staff avoided eye contact. The atmosphere was different now, no longer reverential but anxious. Nayla arrived exactly at 6. Her presence shifted the air immediately. She wore a simple black suit, tailored sharp at the shoulders, with a single silver pin glinting near her collar. Nothing flashy, nothing loud. Power didn't need decoration. At the sight of her, Donovan surged to his feet. "You," he snarled. "You think you can waltz into my company and dictate?" "It's not your company anymore," Nayla cut in calmly. He froze. She stepped forward with steady, measured elegance. "Your board made that clear this morning." His face reddened. "This vote won't go through. They'll come to their senses. They always do." Nayla tilted her head slightly. "Is that what you told yourself about your son?" Quinn swallowed. Donovan turned crimson, furious. "You don't get to talk about my family. Then don't drag them into your downfall." Helena, who had been sitting quietly in the corner, suddenly spoke, voice trembling. "What do you want from us?" Nayla looked at her, not unkindly but unwavering. "I want nothing from you. I want something from him." She looked at Donovan. "The only way, Marquette Dynamics survives the next 6 months is if you step down. Immediately." Donovan scoffed, though the fear in his eyes betrayed him. "And you think you can strong-arm me into—" "Your company is hemorrhaging money. Investors are fleeing. The board is 1 vote away from forcing you out anyway." He blinked rapidly, sweating. "And," Nayla added softly, "I control the only technology that can save your infrastructure plans." He stared at her. She stared back. "You are out of leverage," she said quietly. "All you have left is pride. And that cannot run a company." Quinn stepped in. "Dad," he said, voice low, steady. "This is your chance to keep something alive. Don't throw it away just because you can't admit you were wrong." Donovan's jaw trembled. Helena whispered, "Please, darling." He squeezed his eyes shut. Minutes passed. Finally, with a shuddering breath, he dropped into his chair. "I'll resign," Helena gasped. Quinn sagged with relief. Donovan looked at Nayla, voice small. Is that what you wanted? She held his gaze. No, she said. What I wanted was respect. But I don't need it from you. He exhaled shakily. She turned to leave. But then he whispered, Why did you pick him? My son? Nayla paused. Quinn stiffened. She turned, expression unreadable. Because he doesn't treat me like garbage, she said. And because he chose to grow, instead of clinging to the power you handed him. Donovan swallowed. For what it's worth, he murmured, voice breaking. I'm sorry. It was barely audible. Barely true, but enough. Nayla said nothing. No forgiveness. No comfort. Nothing he didn't deserve. She simply left the office. Quinn followed her. The board voted the next morning. It wasn't close. Donovan Marquette was removed as CEO. He retained a small advisory role, symbolic, powerless. The board appointed a new interim leader, Leora Ellen, a brilliant engineer Donovan had repeatedly overlooked. Under Leora's leadership, the partnership with SierraTech was renegotiated within a week, this time with equal decision-making power, equitable profit distribution, and strict ethics guidelines. It was the smartest deal Marquette Dynamics had made in a decade, and everyone knew who made it possible. Nayla signed the agreement. Cameras flashed. Reporters cheered. Quinn stood behind her, not as a prop or a symbol, but as a partner. Later that night, after the signing ceremony, he walked her to her car. You saved them, he said softly. No, she corrected. I saved the company, not your father. Quinn exhaled. He's not doing well. He will be, she replied. People survive losing power. What they don't survive is refusing to learn from it. He nodded slowly. She looked at him with softened eyes. And you? How are you holding up? He hesitated. Angry, sad, relieved, proud. He met her gaze fully. In love with you. That too. Her lips parted slightly. He reached for her hand. I know your world moves fast. I know you don't trust easily. I won't rush you. I just want you to know I'm here. She studied him, really studied him. You left everything for me, she said quietly. No, he replied. I left everything that didn't deserve me. For the first time that night, she smiled. A small, rare smile. Walk with me, she said. They strolled down the waterfront path outside the venue. The air smelled of salt and promises made in quiet tones. Street lamps glowed like scattered stars. After several minutes, Nayla stopped. I want to show you something. She took out her phone and tapped a few commands. Moments later, the sky above the promenade lit with faint drones forming a shape, rings of light circling each, other in elegant motion. Quinn's jaw dropped. You programmed them? Yes. For tonight? Not originally. But I added something. He looked up again. The light rings tightened into two interlocking shapes, a symbol of partnership, renewal, choice. Quinn turned back to her slowly, awestruck. Nayla, he whispered. She stepped closer. You chose me, she said softly. Now I choose you. He breathed out shakily, as if something long locked inside him had finally been released. Come build a life with me, she added. Not because you left your family, but because you found yourself. His eyes stung. He cupped her cheek gently. I will. The drones above them shimmered, shifting into a final pattern, an expanding ring that glowed brighter than the rest. A future unfolding, not given, not inherited, built together. Across the city, in his quiet office, Donovan watched the news coverage of the newly signed partnership. His reflection in the glass looked older than he remembered, smaller somehow. He replayed his son's words, Nayla's steadiness, his own downfall. For the first time in years, he wondered who he might have been if he hadn't clung so tightly to the illusion of superiority. He reached for the remote and turned the television off. Silence filled the room, heavy, lonely, but not fatal. He would learn, slowly, expensively, but he would learn. Far above Bellemere, on the rooftop of SierraTech, Nayla and Quinn watched the last drones return to their docking ports. Quinn exhaled in wonder. It's beautiful. Nayla leaned against him. Not nearly as beautiful as what comes next, she said quietly. And the city lights below them pulsed like a heartbeat. Steady, strong, and ready for what the future would bring.